Hey friends, I'm Big Ed, and if you're new here, I've been making records for 32 years. I've been a singer-songwriter, a producer, a bandmate, and I'm gonna help you not make the mistakes I've made, which is the title of this video, Mistakes I've Made a Few. Okay, first mistake I ever made, and these are important to keep these in the back of your mind. First mistake I ever made was when I signed my first big record deal. I found out later from another artist on that label that I could have gotten a shorter term, that they owned that record. Yes, I said that we were just hanging out. I was playing a gig in his town. I said, hey, our deal was for, they get to hold on to it for 5 years before I get the rights back. He was like, 5 years? He's like, I got 3. I'm like, how did you get 3? He's like, that's what my lawyer asked for. Always ask. It can't hurt. They can say no, and maybe if they had said no to me, I still would have signed, but always ask, because that leads us into mistake number 2. So I was pretty upset about this. That record was pretty successful, and I wanted to do something with it within that 3-year period. So the mistake I made was I went and made another record hastily. Never release music until it's ready. Number 2 mistake. And I think if I had the rights to that record, I would have just made another one and done the full-blown thing. But no, I went into my home studio instead of a real studio, and I was gonna bang this thing out, and I was gonna show them and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, it didn't really work out that way. Now, luckily, that didn't get released, but I was still so hung up on the fact that they had the rights to this thing that when I got the rights to some of the songs back, I released it on a compilation with B-sides. Mistake number 3. Nobody cares about your B-sides, right? You're not big enough yet to release a record with B-sides. So do not release anything unless it's absolutely perfect, bombshell, gonna move your career forward just because you want to do it. Nobody is waiting for your record unless it's awesome. So that was mistake number 3, still related to mistake number 1. Mistake number 4 was, we're really gonna show, this is still related to mistake number 1. We're like, well, we're really gonna show those guys. We're gonna show that label. So we decided, myself and my guitar player in my band, we got totally enthralled to Oasis at the time. I mean, who didn't? Oasis is back. And we had seen their first American show, and we're like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna be Steve Earle or Bruce Springsteen. We're gonna be Oasis. Brilliant idea that was. So we recorded another record. Now, this record would have been the first big, full follow-up to the record that was successful, that we were still hemming and hawing over. We went in and we recorded it. Yeah, we're not Oasis. It still ended up sounding like a roots rock band with just some alt rock proclivities, I guess. But it was a really, really good record. But it'd taken 3 years from the point that last record came out, that when this one was ready to be released. And guess what? In that time period, it got released. I am not kidding you. The release date, which was set 6 months beforehand, was September 11th, 2001. And we all know nobody gave a damn about our little record that day. So, done, right? And this was all from one mistake in the beginning. Sure, I compounded it. I don't want you to do the same. The point is, if you have a record that comes out and it's awesome and you're proud of it, you work your butt off to follow it up with a record that's even more awesome and you're proud of it, and block out the rest of that stuff. Let your people, let your lawyer, if he made the mistake, let him deal with it. Let your manager deal with it. If you don't have a lawyer and a manager, you just block it out and you make the next record as awesome as you can, that then they're feeling sorry they didn't lock you down for 10 years. You know what I mean? Don't compound your problems because of your ego. Only release music when it's ready and when it's awesome.